the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time.
It is.
And now it's time to talk about a very interesting part of the 49ers.
The pass game.
The pass game.
Okay.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. It's interesting because I think a lot of people have questions about what this pass game is going to look like. The receivers on the outside, who they're going to be. Jim pulling the trigger. James himself at quarterback. I think that's going to get a lot of people kind of going. But we're going to discuss this pass game and what elements Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel are going to use to take advantage of these defenses and what these defenses are going to try to do to stop this offense.
Very, very accurate indeed. Super accurate. So accurate, in fact, that before we even get into it, you should hit that like button right now. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't subscribed already. So that way, when we put out more of this great content, you're here for it right away instead of being late like some of you are right now. That's okay, though. We forgive you. And then also share it. Share it with the faithful. Let's make sure this conversation is as big as humanly possible. But let's get into this because this is the question on everybody's mind, right? Pass game.
Yeah.
The pass game. What could it look like? What could it be? What is it doing? Is it Jimmy? Is it Trey? Are we taking more deep shots? There's so many different ways to view this and go about asking the question and talking about this. And where do you settle in on the pass game this year?
I think the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assume that Jimmy Garoppolo is the quarterback for the first part of this. But I will say this, is that if the offense is being ran by Trey Lance, that everything I'm going to say is going to also fit into that. As far as this part is, number one, this offense is going to rely on play action and rhythm throws. So we've talked about a lot of things, especially when we're referring to the run game. Is the run game is going to set up the pass game for San Francisco. It's not vice versa. This isn't the NFL in 1980 where the 49ers pass game set up the run game. This is different. So that is the first thing. And when they do the play action, they're going to do a variety of different things. Number one, they will do a little quick RPO look, and they will hit a receiver in stride, in motion, and get him going upfield. Second, they will do a play where they will run a fake outside zone and they will get the back of the quarterback to the defense and then he will whip around and make a throw. Those are things that they always do. But then they also have plays where they run the play action, it's a fake, and then it's an intermediate pass, or like we've talked about, deep shot Jim taking shots down the field occasionally. Yeah, I refer to him as deep shot Jim just for fun. But there are the occasional pass deep down the field. Those are things that Kyle Shanahan has in his offense that both Jimmy Garoppolo and Trey Lance can execute. So those are things that we know are going to be staples in the offense, and that's why I wanted to start with them, because I think that gives you an overall look at first what the 49ers passing game looks like with these guys, as far as something that they're going to do no matter what, no matter who is the quarterback in the offense.
Yes. Intermediate throws, especially over the middle of the field, whether that's 2 to 5 yards, whether that's 10 to 15 yards, 18 yards. Those are staples in this offense.
Yes.
And the reason for that is, and for those of you who are, well, why wouldn't it be deep shots down the sideline, the numbers? It's because of the importance on the horizontal offense. Because you stretch teams so wide, sideline to sideline, it opens up avenues in the middle of the field that you can exploit and take advantage of, especially when you're giving that, as you like to call it, ant. And you're one of the few people I've heard it refer to it as this, which is why I want to give you so much credit for it, the window dressing. Mm-hmm. That window dressing gets those teams and forces those teams wide.
Yeah.
And that creates those avenues and those opportunities to take those shots middle of the field. That's why they're so important and vital to this offense, is because they allow you, it gives you the opportunity to capitalize off of the things you're already doing well. There are things that they need to be added in. And you mentioned and brought it up a little bit. You talked about the horizontal shots and deep shot Jim. Deep shot Jim needs to come back a little bit. Last year wasn't as prevalent. 2019, it was there, but not as prevalent as I would say even his first 5 games in San Francisco when he came in. Man, he was juiced. Mm-hmm. He was taking some shots downfield after we made that trade for him, those last 5 games of that first campaign as the 49ers quarterback, right? Deep shot Jim needs to come back every game. Not a bunch, not a lot, a handful of times. I don't want to put a number on it, like give a short number or a small number. But it needs to be there. The threat of Jimmy Garoppolo taking the shot downfield, outside the numbers, up the seam, wherever it is on the field, it needs to be a thing again. Last year, the ankle injury prevented that, right? I think his confidence was dwindling a little bit. Just the way last season went, it was just really hard for anyone on that offense to get any sort of momentum going in the right direction. That needs to change. We have to open up the pass game. Unfortunately, I think it takes about a full year and until Trey Lance comes in for us to be able to fully unlock what we both think this pass game can eventually look like, for a few reasons. One, right, Trey Lance's arm strength better than Jimmy Garoppolo's right now at this moment. And then number two, the ability to create 11-on-11 situations. 11-on-11 situations are going to allow the 49ers to take more vertical shots downfield, also do a lot more dynamic things like he did in Atlanta, right, with the Julio Jones of the world and Matt Ryan's, those 18-yard comeback routes on the sideline, right, shots towards the sideline more often. When you have Trey Lance out there being able to force single coverage on the outside with great receivers who are great route runners, you can be more creative and throw more difficult types of routes. Right now, it's a lot harder for the 49ers to accomplish that and get that done, just based on some of Jimmy Garoppolo's limitations, number one. But number two, and most importantly, the run game hasn't really been bad enough that we've had to be as creative. Atlanta's run game was good, but I wouldn't say Atlanta's run game was this levels of great like the 49ers has been. 49ers run game has been one of the best in the league consistently since Shanahan's been there. That Atlanta run game was good. I never viewed that Atlanta run game as next level, right? This is a different monster entirely, and that's why this pass game has taken a backseat, is this run game has been just a monster.
When you're talking about Jim going down the field with the ball, really, he has to trust his body. Because when you brought up that he was making those deep throws early on in his time with San Francisco, he had a healthy ACL.
And ankle.
But in 2019, you did notice that he fluttered a lot of balls that were deep. He would put more air under them than a lot of other guys because he needs to get it down the field and, into the spots. So Jimmy Garoppolo has enough arm. If he trusts his body and is able to drive off his front leg, he will be able to get the ball down the field and take big shots down the field. You're right about the 18-yard comeback. It needs to be a staple in Kyle Shanahan's offense, because then you put the fear of God into them vertically, and then they can come back with the 18-yard comeback, and it's always wide open. It is a killer for certain defenses. That comeback is a killer. So you need that in the offense. I think Jim can execute that. Jimmy can do that. If he's healthy and able to press off that front leg, he can get it done. If he's not, and he's not confident in it, it will not be a staple in this offense until Trey Lance gets into the offense, like you said. The one thing that Jimmy Garoppolo will, though, execute at a high level is screen passes. Yeah. He will get the ball out quick because of the quick release. He will get it out. He gets the ball turned. He doesn't have to get his hands on the laces. Boom, get the ball out. Deebo Samuel, Jalen Hurd, Brandon Ayuk. Let them create in space. Raheem Mostert, Trey Sermon, Elijah Mitchell. Get them the ball. Let them create in space. You have one of the best offensive lines as far as blocking screen-wise in football. Nothing is funner than seeing Mike McGlinchey or Trent Williams hit someone 4 or 5 yards down the field and take them 18 yards down the field.
With a full head of steam.
It's so great. It is great, and they are great blocking open field. Yes. Almost as good. I can't give them full credit of being as good as the offensive line when Bob McKittrick was the coach. When Bob McKittrick was the coach, these guys getting, down the field and blocking, cutting legs was fantastic. They were some of the best at it, and doing it the right way so you didn't get a penalty. But these guys are very good at what they do. So adding the screens is important. You brought up intermediate passes. That's where Jimmy Garoppolo lives. That's where he wants to be, over the middle. And that's where he can be the most successful in Kyle Shanahan's system. So that's why it's so important to have the screen game to go with his intermediate horizontally, then attack over the middle like you brought up. That's good.
Look, at the end of the day, right, there have been plenty of quarterbacks in this league who have had success, especially late in their careers, who haven't been able to push the ball downfield. Tom Brady had success last year. I know everyone said, he did take shots. He took a lot of shots. Yeah, but he didn't complete a lot of balls, and he threw also a lot of picks, more picks than he has in recent years. And part of the reason why he took more shots than he's ever taken is the system he plays in. Requires that. That's Bruce Arians' system is all about the deep, long ball downfield, the big plays down the field, pushing the ball vertically. Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning at the end of his career was a shell of the Peyton Manning early in his career, and he still found a way to get them to a Super Bowl and have a lot of success later on in his career throwing the football, setting touchdown records in a season with all the weapons he had around him, and he wasn't really able to push the ball downfield, and that ball fluttered a lot and was wobbly and ugly, and it wasn't pretty, but it got it done.
Yeah.
The thing was Peyton trusted himself. He trusted his body. He trusted his teammates and was able to put the ball where he needed to put it and knew that those guys would go make plays. Jimmy just needs to get comfortable again. If Jimmy's comfortable, everything, those other things will resolve themselves like you talked about.
Yeah.
Right? And the further Jimmy gets away from the ACL, the more comfortable he's going to be. The further he gets away from the ankle issue and the ankle injury, the more comfortable he's going to be. I can tell you what right now, drafting another quarterback with a 3rd overall pick, that's going to light a fire under his behind also to play the best he's ever played. And drafting 2 offensive linemen is definitely going to help bolster that confidence and that feeling of, you know what? I got big bodies around me who are going to keep me protected and keep that pocket secure. I can stand in here maybe a little bit longer than I want to. I can plant my feet firmly and let this thing rip a few more times a game and help us push the ball and make some big plays vertically with the passing game.
I want him to feel comfortable in the field. I want him to feel comfortable in the pocket. I want him to feel comfortable in his abilities, and I want him to feel uncomfortable with his position as a starting quarterback with the 49ers. Because if he does, then he's going to give the best effort that he can. But we don't want him to feel comfortable there. So Trey needs to come in and push him, which he's going to do. Trey is a great quarterback. But I want Jimmy to feel uncomfortable that way. I want him looking over his shoulder. I want him to Joe Montana see Steve Young there. Whether that made Joe a better quarterback, I don't know, because Joe's just great. But there is that thought that kind of caused a little bit of a push for them to kind of, be really great, each of them.
100%. I mean,
yeah.
Young talked about it, right? When he finally won his first Super Bowl, the monkey is finally off my back.
Yeah.
It's going to be there for both of these guys.
Well, it wasn't a monkey, though. It was a damn gorilla.
It really was. It really was, dude.
And the 49er fans held it, to Steve. You have to win a championship in San Francisco to be considered a great quarterback. That is just the standard. The other thing that I think that the 49ers do well in the passing game is the running backs out of the backfield. And I think they can even take that to another level. We've seen Mostert and Wilson have success. We see Juice all the time have success. But they can take it to the next level. We've brought up before that we'd like to see Juszczyk used more in a Tom Rathman-style role, getting him out and letting him make plays. He's got a lot of ability, and I think sometimes he's overlooked. Yes, he's a Swiss Army knife, but it's like MacGyver. He doesn't pull it out until he needs it. It's like, let's pull it out early on, and let's use it early on because I want to see it. But also Elijah Mitchell out of the backfield. He's going to add Raheem Mostert, get him the ball in space. He causes issues. Trey Sermon. So they've done a very good job of adding there. And I want to see how the running game ends up causing obvious pass plays to happen. We've seen it before where Juice comes out of the backfield. Looks like he's going to block the defensive end. Beats him, goes right out in the flat, catches the ball for a touchdown. Especially last year, that was very successful. I think that can be taken to another level this year. So I want to see that aspect of the game realized even further.
I think part of the reason, too, with Juszczyk, why we haven't seen him utilized as much in the pass game, is the reliance on him as a blocker. He is so great picking up blitzes, right? Being that extra little security blanket when you want to max protect. And the Niners O-line struggled a little bit, especially last season. But a little bit even the year before, it struggled. And now you don't have that issue, right? We've addressed those things. The center position is the best it's been in the last 3 years, right? Our left tackle, you go from Staley now to Trent Williams, secured. Mike McGlinchey looks like he's turned the corner physically in terms of preparation and what he looks like, right? You finally have Daniel Brunskill in a position where he's comfortable and set, and if he's not comfortable and set, you went out and drafted a big old burly guy from Notre Dame to take over and fill that spot. Laken Tomlinson, we know what his weaknesses are, right? You know the things he doesn't do well, but you know what he's great at, stunts, blitzes, things of that nature. When he can see what's going on and you got a center next to him who's directing him and letting him know where things are at. If you missed that Alex Mack breakdown video, go watch it. Go watch our Alex Mack breakdown video because that guy knows everything a defensive front is doing.
Yeah.
At all times. Every offensive lineman on this team is going to be extremely prepared going into every single game. When a team starts showing something weird, he's going to be able to diagnose it, call it out, get everyone comfortable in a position where they know this guy's stunting across right here. I'm going to pick this guy up. You're not going anywhere. Nice try. You tried to dress up the blitz and make it look like make it complex. Make it look like we didn't know what was going on. We got a center now who's going to be able to call a lot of that out. You have a guy, Jimmy Garoppolo, now who's in his second, hopefully, if he plays the whole year, his second full season in San Francisco as a quarterback, but now his fourth year in this offense, like fully divulged into this offense. He's going to be more prepared than ever. The pass game has all the room in the world to explode this year. You have all the weapons you have on the outside, right? The running backs who are developing as pass catchers, plus the guys you drafted, the best tight end in all of football, the best fullback in all of football. Everything is on the table for success. Just got to put it all together.
Yeah, all the ingredients are there to make a very nice dish. The question is Jimmy Garoppolo going to be able to take full advantage of everything that he needs to take care of, or take advantage of? The one thing we do know is until Trey Lance is the quarterback, the vertical passing game will not be what it can be when he's there. But I will say this until I'm blue in the face. Jimmy Garoppolo can be successful in this offense. He can operate at a high level. Like you said, he's a master now at this offense. He understands it. He will know how to get them in and out of each play, what play to be in by defensive formation, defensive set. He can read coverages very well. The one area he struggles is linebackers in drops. But if your run game is going very well and they have to make sure they're respecting, the play action, then those linebackers won't be there. He'll be able to get the ball over them in windows for these guys to make plays. That is what I'm looking for. So we know the vertical passing game will be limited with Jimmy Garoppolo, but the rest of the offense will be successful. I will say this. If Trey Lance was the quarterback, the vertical passing game would be there. Where we would be is limited in the intermediate over the middle passing game. So there are weaknesses with both quarterbacks. Plus, he's not a master at this offense yet. Those are the two areas where I think it's a little bit different. I don't want to go too much into the quarterbacks, but they're a part of the passing game. But I think that these guys, once again, can do a lot of different things. You can literally attack almost every aspect of the field, the vertical being the one weakness that the 49ers have. But I like that they can touch every inch of the field, and when you can do that, you make these guys stress when they're in zone coverage and stress when they're in man coverage because they don't know where you're going and what you're doing. Also, Kyle Shanahan and Mike McDaniel's use of the motion to dictate to the quarterback or to show the quarterback what exactly the coverage is on the other side, or at least give them an idea if it's zone or if it's man, and then you can tell by what you're looking at. We got a two high safety. What do we got? That'll give them a good idea. So I think they do a good job of also revealing the coverage to the quarterback, and that really helps.
I mean, that is crucial and one of the more underappreciated and not understood aspects of offense. Motion, why you motion.
Yeah.
Sometimes it has nothing to do with the actual play itself and is all for diagnosing and trying to pick up what is going on, what are you running, what matchups are you trying to isolate, who are you as a defense focused on here? Because you can tell based on if it's what kind of zone they may be running or whether or not it's man, which guy you are emphasizing on slowing down here in this situation. So that way you as the quarterback know, maybe my matchup was this. They're focusing on that matchup. I got to go. I'm going to have to get off that quick and get to my next read. It gives you a lot of ways to diagnose the defense and understand what they're doing. And that, as an offensive coordinator, if you know what the defense is trying to do, it's really easy to give them what you think, what they think. Oh, we got to stop this. Oh, here it is right here. That make them think you're doing the thing that they're prepping for and then do something else entirely.
Yep. You're making them look at one thing and you're actually doing something else. It's like magic out there. Yeah, that's why I talk about the window dressing all the time. You're seeing one thing, your eyes are telling you one thing when something else is really happening. That is one of the gifts of offense, especially a great offensive coordinator, is when you think you know what's coming, you can do something else. The only thing that's better than that is when the other defense knows what's coming and they still can't stop it.
That is the best. That is probably the best feeling in the world, when you know what they're going to do and there's just nothing you can do about it. That's what makes this run game so special. And if the run game is going at a high clip, it can be what makes this pass game so special.
Yep.
Because you can put yourself in situations where it doesn't really matter. You know they're going to throw the ball, but if you're able to stretch them wide, put the type of players that we can put on the field out there, someone is going to burn you. It's just a matter of getting the right guy into the right matchup, and then the quarterback finding that guy in space and making the throw. We know Jimmy can do it. He's going to have to execute it for a whole season. We know he can. Just a matter of whether we can put it all together now. Yes. A full 2021 season.
Yeah, we're definitely on the verge of the offense dominating. Mm-hmm. I think this offense can do a very good job. I think they can score a lot of points. And I think this pass game can be very pivotal in that success. So if Jimmy comes out of training camp as a starting quarterback, they're going to go crazy. They're going to go strong. He's going to be out there. He has nothing to lose. He's going to be out there trying to prove it. And I also think a lot of these other guys, they hear what people are saying. These guys are going to have chips on their shoulder. Deebo Samuel's not put up there with some of the better receivers from his draft even.
Gadget receiver.
Yeah, he's not getting any respect. And they're going to go out there and they're going to get the respect. 49ers are going to make CBS and everyone else wish they had thought better about this team.
Eat their shorts, CBS. Eat their shorts. Put some respect on Deebo Samuel's name. Put some respect on this pass game. And put some respect on the 49ers cutback. Hit that subscribe button right now if you haven't already. Smash that like button into oblivion. Hit that notification bell. And most importantly, scroll down below right now into the comment section and let us know what you think the pass game is going to look like. Do you agree with us? Do you disagree entirely? Especially if it's Jimmy. I know RPG Camper's down there right now. If it's Jimmy, the pass game sucks. And if it's Trey, it's going to be great. That could be the case. Very well could be RPG. Let us know about it down below. And while you're down there typing that away, don't forget to scroll just a little bit farther into that comment and into the description and hit the link for our merch shop, the new 49ers Cutback merch shop. It is live. It is fantastic. We got everything you need. Cutback crew gear, 49ers inspired gear, and of course, just 49ers Cutback stuff.
Yeah, you could block, catch, run, and fear nothing like George Kittle does. You can get that t-shirt today and you could be able to wear that. So you might want to hop over there and check that out. It's a good shirt. But there's a lot of things that are going to happen for this 49ers team. There's a lot of things that are going to happen as we get into the season. These are the fun conversations to have because Kyle Shanahan, John Lynch have built a very good roster. They have very good players and a very good coaching staff. And now we're going to get to see it on full display. I think this is the most excited I've been for a season since 2019 because I thought we were going to get a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo back. So I am excited for this. I am ready for this, and I can't wait to see this offense on the field.
Yeah, I mean, that is 100% accurate. The vibes are 2019 vibes all over again. And if it's 2019 vibes all over again, you all know what that potentially could mean, Faithful and Cutback crew. So get excited, get pumped. We'll see you on the next one. And until then, 49ers fans, you stay safe.
And remember, the right way is always the 49ers way.